Hi everybody, Sarah here with Liberated Badass. So today it's all about how to choose love. So most of us early on in life decide love is too scary. And we learn this by a series of events that basically teaches us to fear love. And so slowly over time, we build these walls to protect ourselves from love. We don't actually know that we're doing this, but it happens because life brings about pain. And pain is something we want to avoid at all costs. And so in order to avoid pain, the heart grows walls in every area of our life in an attempt to protect us from the pain. So the other day I was lying in bed and I have this pain that I get sometimes in my body and in my neck from an experience over the last few years. And I was in so much pain, I just had to lay down. And it overcame me completely. And I started to cry and just be totally in my pain. And when you're in your deep pain, it's the hardest time to choose love. Can you relate to this? Do you know that feeling of deep, deep pain, that sadness that just completely overwhelms you? Naturally, the heart wants to do everything possible to get away from the pain. Although strangely enough, sometimes you decide to sit in it. And that's what I did the other day, right? I decided to sit in my pain and feel it. And so as I was feeling it, my heart started to grow those walls and started to put up those blocks and say, man, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And just as soon as that happened, my phone rang. And it was my 6-year-old niece calling over video. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to answer this. What? You don't want to answer when love is calling? Why? Oh, because the walls are up. And that feeling of pain is so big that it blocks your ability to choose love when love comes calling. And so my heart was like, oh man, I don't want to talk to her right now. I'm not feeling well. I'm like busy. And I think about it just long enough and it goes to missed call. And so literally I miss the opportunity to be loved by this little 6-year-old who just wants to share her day with me. She's calling for no reason other than she wants to share her life with me. She wants to connect. And so I say to myself, self, who are you gonna be? Who do you wanna be? Do you wanna be this person that is fearful and keeping love out? Or do you wanna be this person that's able to choose love even in the midst of pain and let it in? And so I called her back and her little face showed up on my screen and she's dressed in pink and she's in her pink little room and her eyes light up and she's just like, Auntie, what are you doing today? I just wanted to talk to you. And so we chatted and we shared. And then I hung up the phone and that pain just whoosh, came right back over me and it's surging through my body and I don't understand it and I go right back in to sadness and pain. And just as soon as I lose myself in that sadness and in that pain, guess what happens? My phone rings again. Now it's one of those people that I talk to only every now and again, and one of those people I sort of feel like I have to put on my mask for and everything is good. And I'm like, man, I really don't want to answer the phone. Why is she calling me right now of all times? But man, I feel bad because I haven't talked to her in a while and I really should answer the phone. And so then you answer the phone, right? And I say, she says, how are you? How are things? And I say, oh, everything is fine. And then she starts in and I say, whoa, you know what? Let me stop you right there. Actually, everything is not fine. In fact, I'm doing terrible right now. I'm actually lying in my bed in pain, crying. And I've just told you that I'm fine, which is a lie. I'm actually not fine. And her heart breaks open. And oftentimes we talk about her on the phone call and we talk about her struggles, but today she was so consumed and filled with love for me. She spent the next 10 minutes coaching me, offering me love, telling me all of the good things that I've brought into her life. So we end the call. We get off the phone, I go back to myself, and I go back to my mind, and I go back to my pain. And I'm ruminating on these great thoughts, and yet at the same time, I get sucked back in to the pain. Do you know what this is like? This roller coaster of emotions, does it sound familiar to you? How you can be like in pain, and then in a good spot, and then in pain, and then in love, and then in pain, and then you guessed it. What happened next? I went so deep into my pain just so quickly again, and then the phone rang. And you guessed it. It was love again. It was love calling to ask me, actually it was my sister, who said, hey, you didn't call me this morning after the doctor's appointment. What's up with that? Which I know is her saying, hey, I love you so much. I expected to hear from you this morning after your appointment so that I could know what's going on with you. And I was like, oh, you're right. I didn't call you. I'm so sorry. Again, it was one of those decisions to not let love in. I didn't actually even consciously think about it. I just got so distracted with my own thoughts that I simply forgot to call her after my doctor's appointment. My mind wasn't focused on the places that love wanted to be inside of me, which was one of which is my sister wanting to know how I'm doing and keep track because she wants me to feel good. And so we chatted for a hot minute, and she also brought up the fact that there's this new person who's resurfaced on my Facebook page who's like got all kinds of negativity to put out to me. It's really disguised negativity. It's really love disguised as negativity. But she wants to know what the fuck is he doing on my page and why is he causing all this a ruckus when all I'm trying to do is bring good into the world. And so she lets me know, don't you worry, I got your back. I jumped on there to tell him what I thought about the situation, that he was coming after you. Wouldn't you know it? Love just envelops over me. And I'm like, man, love is everywhere when I decide to see it, when I choose to let it in. I get it though, life is really, really hard. Like, life was so hard that day, 2 days ago. Life was really hard for me, and yet it was beautiful at the same time. Isn't that wild? Life can be so hard and so beautiful at the same time, and it takes a real active decision and cultivation of a practice in your life and in your heart to be able to actually live life that way. I would love to help you figure out how to do that. So I'm Sarah. Join me in my Facebook group, Liberated Badass, for more content like this. And if you're checking me out here on YouTube, subscribe to my channel so you will get the updates when I post new videos. As always, go do that thing you most want to be doing, and I'll talk to you soon.